US Route 19. Oh boy, this is gonna be a big one. Alright, hello everyone, I am Quartermons437, and I am finally doing my long-awaited US Route 19 series. The Dirt Pog had actually requested this road back in like September, I believe, and he's been patiently waiting for me to make these videos ever since, so I can't appreciate that enough. I'm sorry to have kept you waiting for this long, but we are doing this now, finally. So let's get started with US Route 19. Now, US Route 19 is a north and southbound US route that goes from Erie, Pennsylvania, all the way down to St. Petersburg, Florida. If we look on the map here, we can see that it starts on the shores of Lake Erie in Erie, Pennsylvania, and it passes through the states of Pennsylvania, West Virginia, Virginia, Tennessee, North Carolina, and Georgia along the way. It goes down pretty much the entire interior northeast, at least starting from Erie. But yeah, it is a long route, and that is why I'm doing a series about it and not the usual 2 videos. But anyway, it's at this point that I should remind you that if you liked the video, please give it a like down below. Leave a comment if you have any feedback for me, or if you want to discuss this road any further. And if you really enjoyed it, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can see future videos that I make, whether it be about control cities or anything else. This is only part 1 of US 19 Southbound, and we will be going down to the EW split in Tennessee in this video, and the rest of Southbound will be in the next video in this series. So without further ado, let us dive into our US Route 19 Southbound adventure. Here is the beginning of Southbound US Route 19 at a junction with US Route 20, and US Route 20 gets the amazing westbound control city of Cleveland, 106 miles away, so that's really cool. And we can also see that our control city going southbound will be Meadville, which is 39 miles away, so that is also a good choice because we meet US routes. Well, we will have a concurrency with US Route 6, and then in Meadville, we will also meet US Route 322. I would also say that that is an important junction with Interstate 79 as well. However, in Pennsylvania and West Virginia, we are like parallel to Interstate 79 for quite a long time, so there are many opportunities to get over to Interstate 79, so I'm not really going to be talking about that so much in this video. Here we get a 2 Interstate 90 shield, and we can also see here as we leave US 20, we also get...
What is that? What the f*** is that?
Yeah. Here we're meeting Interstate 90, and it gets the great control cities of Buffalo going eastbound and Cleveland going westbound, so just like US 20. On Interstate 90 itself, we're getting signed for Waterford and Peach Street. I don't really agree with that, honestly. I think Peach Street is just the name of the pavement that US 19 has here in the Erie area, and Waterford is a really small town, and in fact, the only reason I can really imagine that we're signed for it is because of this junction with Pennsylvania Route 97, which we are going to be concurrent with for a little bit. And Pennsylvania Route 97 leaves us at this roundabout, and we are now assigned for Cambridge Springs as opposed to Meadville, so I don't really like that. Here we're meeting US Route 6, and we're going to start our concurrency with US 6 that lasts for a little bit. Now we're getting assigned for Meadville once again. And here's our first mileage sign that we will see in this video, with Meadville being on the bottom line at 21 miles away. As we start to get closer to Meadville, we get this list of Meadville exits, although these aren't really proper exits. These are just kind of lists of at-grade intersections as US 6 and 19 meet all these different streets. As we get closer to the outskirts of Meadville, we get these reassurance shields of westbound US 6 and southbound US 19 to US 322. Here is another list of Meadville exits. Again, these are really just at-grade intersections. When we meet up with US Route 322, it just gets signed Linden Street, which I think is not a good choice. It should say Clarion on it because that's what we were signed for in the US 322 eastbound video as we left Meadville. That video, by the way, you can see up in the corner. I'll leave a link to that in the cards. But yeah, that's just really weird. And of course, we're going to be concurrent with westbound US 322 as well as westbound US Route 6 here. And if you want to see that concurrency, you can go check out the 322 westbound video that I made, which is also going to be listed here in the corner. Here we are really close to Interstate 79. We can see a junction Interstate 79 shield just to our left, and it gets its usual awesome control cities of Erie and Pittsburgh. And after that intersection, we get another mileage sign as well as a reassurance shield. We get Sheakleyville on the top line. And now I have to talk about an elephant in the room. Longtime viewers of Control City Freak will know that he has a beef with the Control City of Lyman being on Interstate 70, and many people in the comments of his videos have tried to figure out what's the Lyman of the East. Well, I think I have my answer. This is my big moment right here. I believe it is what gets signed on the bottom line of this mileage sign. Mercer, 22 miles away. And why do I think that Mercer is the Lyman of the East? We get Mercer, 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 Mercer! You would think that it is Chicago, the amount of roads that go to this town. It is insane. And that last one, the Interstate 80 East, getting signed for Mercer, that just killed me. Because it should be New York City the whole way in Pennsylvania. But nope, we gotta go with where all these other roads are going. And also, one reason I think that Mercer is the Lyman of the East is because the population numbers are about the same. Mercer is slightly less populous than Lyman, but it still shouldn't be signed on Interstate 80 East. All of these other roads are fine, although US 62 is a major US route, so I don't know, maybe you could still have a better control city for it than that. Speaking of US 62, as we start to get closer to Mercer, we meet with US 62 and we are concurrent with it for a little while. And in downtown Mercer, we get this amazing sign salad with all these different roads. That is just crazy to see. And after we leave Mercer, we get another mileage sign and reassurance shield with Portersville on the top line and Zelianopol on the bottom line, 32 miles away. And yeah, that's fine to sign, I think. If you wanted to go to like Pittsburgh from Erie, you'd just be better off taking I-79. So it's good that US 19 gets these local control cities instead. Here we're meeting US Route 422, and it gets signed for Butler and Newcastle. I'm not really sure how I feel about that, to be honest. Although you can see the Xavier 456's thoughts on those control cities in his own US Route 19 video that he did just in Pennsylvania. You can see that up in the corner in the cards. A little bit further down the road, then we get Cranberry, 6 miles away on the top line, and Pittsburgh, 28 miles away on the bottom line. So, again, makes sense. Sign the closer places on a US route as opposed to from far away. Here we're meeting Interstate 279, although not quite directly. We get this 2 Interstate 279 shield, and it just gets Interstate 79's control cities because 279 is a pretty short 3-digit route. Here we're meeting Interstate 376, and we're going to be concurrent with it for an teeny little distance, like not even half a mile or so, I think. US 22 and US 30 are also concurrent with 376 here as well, as we get signed Carnegie and Pittsburgh International Airport. I don't know how I feel about that. Turns out those were just the controls for 376, as when we split off of 376, we just get signed Banksville Road. I don't like that. I think you should just have a proper control city. Maybe Washington, PA or something. I don't know. Here is our first exit request of this US 19 series. It is McLaughlin Road or Upper McLaughlin Road, something like that. I don't remember 100%. I don't remember 100% for sure. And this was requested by the Xavier 456. He wanted to see the exit for the St. Clair Township Library and also, I guess, the school that he used to go to. So, thank you very much for that request. And here's to hopefully some more for the rest of this US Route 19 series. Here we're meeting Pennsylvania routes 519 and 980, and we can see that now we are getting the control city of Washington, and they don't even put the pod there. Unlike on some other signs, which, yes, Todd from Control City Freak, they do that sometimes, as opposed to what you would like your viewers to believe. Here we're meeting the concurrency of Interstate 70 and 79, and we got 3 good control cities, and we also get, no comment. On Interstate 70 and 79 themselves, we again just get Mertland Avenue, and not even a real control city, although I'm not really sure what else you could put on there. Maybe Waynesburg. You know, don't sign Interstate 79 for that. Just sign it for Morgantown. Either way, though, if we look at the next exit we have coming up, which is for Pennsylvania Route 136, sign for Bow Street, we get an odd fraction, 5/8 of a mile. I believe that is the first time that has happened in one of my videos. So that's interesting. On this overhead, we see one of a quite numerous amount of these sign errors that Pennsylvania makes. We get signed as Pennsylvania Route 19, so that's not good. I just wanted to show this Papa John's here because it doesn't even really look like a normal Papa John's. It just looks like somebody opened one in the bottom of this two-story house. So that looks really weird. Here we're meeting US Route 40, and we're going to be concurrent with US Route 40 East for a little bit. Although the next reassurance shield we see is just US 19 southbound, we don't actually get a mention of 40 right here. And then we split off from US 40 as it goes east into Maryland. At this junction off of Interstate 79, we get signed for Lone Pine and Amity. And I do not agree with those at all. I think you should just go with Waynesburg here. No need for those other places. As we can see, Amity is only 6 miles away, which I don't even think Amity is like a real town or anything. So yeah, why not just go with Waynesburg? Oh yeah, that's right, because you want to put it on Interstate 79. So stupid. As we leave Waynesburg, we meet Pennsylvania Route 21. And now we get signed for Mount Morris. Nah, I don't really know how to feel about that. I think you could probably just go Morgantown at this point. We do have a Sheets here, so that's pretty cool. And welcome to West Virginia. We get a small version of their beautiful mileage signs that we see on the interstates. So that's great. Here we are crossing over the Monongahela River, coming into the Morgantown area, and I wanted to get like a view looking out onto the river, but I wasn't particularly impressed with the views. So here's just a view as we look straight ahead. I mean, I guess it's kind of nice, but not that scenic in my opinion. Here in downtown Morgantown, we see these overhead signs. We get 79 and US 19 South, Westover. I don't know about that. I mean, if you're going to sign an Interstate 79 control city, put Charleston on there. Although maybe Westover is for us. And we can see we are also meeting US Route 119 and West Virginia 7 here, as we also get 268 and South 119 straight ahead. As we leave the Morgantown area, we get a mileage sign with Fairmont 16 miles away. I think that's probably a decent control city for US 19, but if you're signing Interstate 79 from this point, then just go Charleston. In Fairmont, we meet US Route 250. And on this next mileage sign, we get Clarksburg on the top line, Weston in the middle, and Buckhannon is our primary at 35 miles away. Here we're meeting US Route 50. It gets signed westbound for Parkersburg and eastbound for Bridgeport, I think that is. I'm not 100% sure. It's a little hard to read that. Here in Weston, we are meeting US Routes 33 and US 119 once again. And on this mileage sign, we get Sutton as our bottom line, 41 miles away. I think that might be a good choice. Here we're meeting Interstate 79 once again, and this time we're actually going to be concurrent with it for a little while as we get signed for Charleston, good, and Clarksburg, bad. Should be Pittsburgh or Morgantown, definitely not Clarksburg. As we get onto Interstate 79, our concurrency with it, we can see that we get Charleston, 69 miles away, as I-79's primary, although it's listed on the second line. And our primary is going to be Beckley at 81 miles away. And I think that's a pretty good choice for US 19. I kind of hesitated when I was gathering the pictures. I thought maybe it might not be a great control city. But then I realized that Beckley is about the same population as Johnstown, and I like signing US 219 for Johnstown, at least the northbound video. I'll leave a card too. You can watch that video. It's one of my favorite videos I've done so far. Anyway, here at exit 57 on Interstate 79, we are finally going to say goodbye to it once and for all. US 19 diverges away from Interstate 79, and we will not see it again until we go back northbound in parts 3 and 4 of this series, as we get an overhead for Beckley. So, again, good choice. Although, after we leave our concurrency with Interstate 79, we actually get Summersville also added onto this sign, so that's interesting. And we can see that Summersville will be our secondary at 28 miles away. We are still 71 miles away from Beckley, again on the bottom line here as well. Here is another mileage sign a little bit further down the road where Beckley is still our primary at 46 miles away. We're meeting US Route 60 here, and it is named the Midland Trail, as it gets some, I'd say, probably pretty questionable cities listed, but I'm not entirely sure what exactly you would put on US 60 here. I'm not really familiar with where it goes. Here we're crossing over the New River on this massive bridge. I actually got vertigo when I was looking on Google Street View getting this picture. This bridge is 876 feet above the river. That is insanely tall. And the scenery here is just fantastic. Holy mackerel. But yeah, if you're driving this in person, don't look down. Like I said, even just looking at it on Street View, this is crazy. At this point, again, we go through some pretty beautiful scenery in West Virginia. I wanted to get a view looking out from US 19, but you couldn't see much of anything, so I got off onto West Virginia 16 here in this town of like 8,000 people, I think. I forget the name. Speaking of West Virginia 16, we are going to have an exit for it, and also West Virginia 61 coming up, also a left exit. And we are meeting Interstate 64 and 77, the West Virginia Turnpike, in 1 3/4 of a mile. Although US 19 actually doesn't intersect it, we get off right here with West Virginia 16, and we get signed for Bradley and North Beckley. Although when we get to the bottom of the ramp, we get just Beckley and Bradley, not North Beckley. Here in Beckley, we split off from West Virginia 16. And then we go under Interstate 64 on this massive, massive bridge that it goes over. As we meet West Virginia Route 3, our next control city is going to be Princeton. And here we meet Interstate 77 again. It gets signed for Bluefield and Beckley. I think you could probably have better choices for 77. Todd from Control City Freak definitely talked about it a lot, I think. So I would recommend going to check out his Interstate 77 videos. At least the northbound one I will leave a card for up in the top right corner. And if we look on Interstate 77 itself, we just get signed for Camp Creek. I don't like that. Where did Princeton go? Although at this intersection, Princeton comes back, so that's good. We're meeting with US Route 460 for the first of 2 times, actually, and it gets signed east for Harrisburg? I'm not really sure how you pronounce that. And now we are signed for Bluefield. I think that's a good choice for US 19. Although Bluefield is actually our top line here at 8 miles away. And then we get Tazewell, Virginia on the bottom line at 31 miles away. I'm not really sure how I feel about that, honestly. Here we are leaving US Route 460 as we continue to get signed for Bluefield. And in Bluefield, we meet US Route 52, and we are going to be concurrent with northbound US 52. It gets signed north and south in West Virginia. And at this intersection, we can also see trains! Yay! I love trains. Anyway, here is US 52 splitting off from us as we now get signed for Bluefield, Virginia, because Bluefield is one of those towns where it spans over the state line. And also, if you want to go to Minot, North Dakota, here's your turn to get off for that. As US 52 leaves us, it goes over this big bridge. So this is pretty cool. I just wanted to show this Dairy Queen here as we leave, as we start to get closer to Virginia, because it looks like the signs and stuff, the infrastructure, it's all still basically like the same it always was. It looks like it hasn't changed in however many years this Dairy Queen's been here. And I had to get this picture of this Norfolk Southern coal train because, again, I love trains. Thought this would be a cool picture to have in the video. Welcome to Virginia. And at our first reassurance shield for US 19 in Virginia, we actually also get west US 460, which is actually not supposed to be there, I believe. I'm almost certain we are not actually concurrent with US 460 here, so I don't know why that's there at all. Here we go under some more train tracks as these diverge southwest away from the Bluefield area. Pretty cool. Here we're meeting US Route 460 again for our second time, as we now get signed South 19 West 460 Tazewell. Here we're actually meeting a business route for both US 19 and 460, so that's pretty interesting. And as we go past the town of Tazewell, we actually get onto a full freeway for a little bit, and we get some numbered exits, which I think is really weird. I don't know why it doesn't just say exit here. And there are 5 of these exits total. Here we're meeting Virginia Route 16, and technically this is exit 2, but it doesn't say that anywhere. Instead, we get car line underscore. What is that? I have no idea what the heck they're doing here. Just have the Virginia 16 sign. And also, why not have an exit 2 somewhere on there? This is really weird. Here we're meeting the southern end of that business route. And on our next mileage sign, we also get reassurance shields for southbound US 19 and westbound 460. As we get this mileage sign for Richlands, Grundy, and Bristol. I believe Grundy is actually where US 460 goes. 19 goes to Bristol. Here is US 460 splitting off from us once more, as we say goodbye to it for good this time. And then here we get another mileage sign with Lebanon on the top line, Abingdon in the middle, and Bristol is still our bottom line at 57 miles away. We come to Lebanon and we meet another business route for US 19 at this intersection. As we go by the town of Lebanon, we get some more numbered exits, although there were only 2 of them this time. This is the first of those exits. And here we are meeting the other end of that US 19 business route, as we also meet secondary Virginia Route 660. We get another mileage sign with Hansonville on the top line, and once again we get Abingdon and Bristol as our second and third lines respectively. We meet alternate US Route 52, and we are going to be concurrent with eastbound alternate US 58 for a little bit. Here is where that alternate route splits off. And actually, we just miss having a 3-way US route concurrency as we meet US Route 11 here. And we're going to be concurrent with southbound US Route 90. And we're going to be concurrent with southbound US Route 11 for a little while. This is off of an exit from Interstate 81, and this is where it leads to. US 11 and 19 are parallel with Interstate 81 at this point for a little bit. And at this intersection on our pavement, we can see 2 Interstate 81, which is also concurrent with US 58, as we get a whole bunch of signs in both green, white, all sorts of craziness going on here. At our next reassurance shield, we actually don't get a US 19 indicator. We only get US 11, so that's really weird. We meet directly with Interstate 81 and US 58, and that concurrency gets signed for Knoxville. Although, if we look on the freeway itself, we just get signed for Lee Highway, so again, just another name, not an actual proper control city, so that's weird. We're meeting the Virginia 381 feeder to Interstate 381 here, and if we look on that route, we can see another just insane sign salad. There is a lot of shields here, holy mackerel. Continuing on from that intersection, US 11 has split into E and W. We are concurrent with US 11 E at this point, as well as US 421 and a couple of truck routes for 11 and 19 northbound. We cross over into Tennessee, Bristol being another town that is on a state line, and we get this really, really pathetic green entering Tennessee sign. We don't get the regular Tennessee welcome sign, so that's really lame. But at least we're in a state that has some awesome control cities now. I'll be very, very intrigued to see what all they do in Tennessee on US 19. As we leave the urban areas of Bristol, we see the Bristol Motor Speedway, which is one of our first major roadside attractions we've really had in general. I can't think of something else as famous as this that we had passed by before. We meet Tennessee routes 394 and 390 as they get signed for Bluff City and Blountville. I think that's how you say that. And off of this exit, US 11E and 19 are now signed south for Johnson City, so I think that's a good choice. We are crossing over the Holston River on the Charlie Worley Bridge right here, so that's pretty cool. And now we have reached our own E and W split. US 11 and 19 are 2 of 9 US highways that split into an E and W or N and S sections. So that is really interesting. We will be following US 19W on our southbound trip as we go to Johnson City, while US 19E gets signed south for Elizabethton. And here are our reassurance shields for US 11E and 19W, which we will continue to follow in part 2 of this series. We have reached the end of our trip for this part. So, thank you all so much for watching. I'm not going to do the way it should be for Southbound US 19 until I get to part 2, and I have covered all of Southbound US 19, and I will talk about that when we get to that video. For now, I just want to outline the plans that I have for the foreseeable future with these videos. Next up, I will be doing the part 2 video for Southbound US 19. And then after that, I'm going to be taking a little break from US 19. And I want to do North Carolina Route 42 as basically kind of a shout out to the Dirt Pog, because he lives along that route and he's one of my best friends, and he inspired me to make these videos along with Todd from Control City Freak, of course. Regardless of what happens regarding these videos in 2024, on February 14th, I will be doing a special video talking about the Control Cities on my route to my grandparents' house in Northern Virginia. So that may or may not come out before the next US 19 part, but it has been something I've been planning to do for a while, and so I think that ought to be a really fun video. But with all of that said, once again, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please be sure to like, subscribe, ring the notification bell, leave a comment down below, all of that good stuff. And until the next video, everyone, have a good one. Peace.